Hello my crafty friends. So I have been gone for a little while. I was in Europe for a few weeks, so I haven't been crafting a whole lot, but I am back now and ready to jump back into some creation. So today I'm going to work with some Distress ink refills and some Distress oxide refills, and I'm going to watercolor with them. So my plan is to do some stamping onto watercolor paper. I've got two different kind of geometric stamps. Both are from AliExpress, and I think I'm just going to use these today. Alright, so I'm going to ink this up with a Versamark. And give it a really good press. Because it's watercolor paper and it has a little bit of texture to it, I think I'm going to do this twice and give it some really good pressure just to make sure that there's a really good impression from the stamp. So I'm just going to do that one more time. Okay, fabulous. Now I'm going to take this off the grid here and I'm going to emboss it in gold. Once my image was all embossed and shiny and smooth, I used some painter's tape to put it just onto a chipboard sheet because I'm going to do some watercolor with it. So I've got some Distress ink refills in Mermaid Lagoon. So I'm just going to put a couple drops down on my craft mat, some fossilized amber, and some picked raspberry. Now this color is very, very concentrated, so you don't need very much of it. Just a couple drops. I probably have too much on there. Taking a big round brush, you probably don't need one that's this big. I'm dipping it in some water that's off to the side, and I'm just going to add some water to my ink. Got the blue up at the top here, and then I'm just going to kind of, in a very random helter-skelter like, I'm just going to add some ink down onto my panel. And then I'm going to kind of wipe my brush off and go in with the picked raspberry and kind of let them overlap a little bit. And then go in with some of the mustard seed. And then I'm just going to kind of pick it up and kind of let the inks move a little bit. Okay, and then with the paper towel, if you've got any spots where there's like a big kind of gob, you can kind of just take the paper towel and lift up a little bit of it. Okay, and then you can just let it air dry, or you could take your heat tool and dry it. Okay, I'm going to set that one aside, and I'm going to do one more, but I'm going to do it with some oxides. So I've got some broken china, some twisted citron, and some seedless preserves. So I'm going to do these, but I don't want to waste this bit that's on my desk here. So I'm just going to take another piece of watercolor paper. I've kind of already got a bit on here from playing, so I'm just going to kind of keep adding to it because I don't want to waste the ink. So I'm just going to do some smooshy and let that dry. So I'm going to do the same process as I did before, embossing with the gold, and then I'm going to do something a little bit different. Okay, so I've got my piece embossed and on my board. Gonna go in with the broken china first. And then the twisted citron. Okay, I'm gonna give this one a little tiny spritz and then let it move a little bit. So the colors just kind of combine at least a little bit. I don't want the lines to be quite so stark. Okay, now I'm gonna take it off the board. I'm gonna cut it down a little bit, cut off those edges. I'm going to put some adhesive on the entire back of it. So I'm using a big sheet of the scrapbook.com adhesive. You could also use adhesive sheets or just a whole bunch of score tape, whatever your little heart desires. Okay, so I've got some adhesive on the back of this panel, and then I've cut a piece of gold cardstock at 4 by 5 1/4, and now I'm going to cut this piece into different angles, just kind of random, and I'm going to place them onto the gold cardstock with a little space in between each of them. Okay, so it's going to sit just like that with just a little space in between. So I'm going to glue all of those, adhere all of those down. Okay, so they're all adhered. It's not perfectly spaced, but it's pretty darn close. So now I'm going to take a little congrats. This is going to be a congratulations for a baby shower card. So this is just a pre-made sentiment from the Pink Fresh Rainbow Sentiments pack. And I'm just going to glue that down. I decided to use foam tape instead to pop it up just a little bit. And then I'm going to take a little bit of gold paint and do a little bit of splattering on it. So I've just got some gold metallics Deco Art paint. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit down on my work surface and spritz it with some water and do a little bit of splatters. And let that dry and then put it on my card base. Okay, now these two were the first ones that I did with the Distress ink refills, and I've taken them off the boards and cut them down just a little bit, but I love them so much that I think I'm going to hoard them and scan them into my computer first before I do anything else with them, because I'm just absolutely in love with them. So I'm going to do some more like this and maybe do a whole paper collection like this. So I did a couple more like the same distress colors, and they are dry now. So now I'm going to do some heat embossing over top of them. The other one I might cut out and use a word die with them. Okay, for the second card, I took this piece and cut out the shadow of this happy birthday die. This is from AliExpress. So it's got a shadow and it's got the words. So I cut the shadow out of the watercolor. And then I put some adhesive on the back of a piece of 140-pound Nina White cardstock and cut out the happy birthday words. So the words have both a outline and the actual letters themselves. So I think I'm just going to use the outline and attempt to get it on here straight. Okay, so that is on there now, which is awesome because you can see, I wanted to make sure you could see a lot of the background, the watercolor. So I'm glad that it had an open part to it, like an outline to it. And then I can use the actual letters on another card. So off camera, I took a card base and put a piece of hot pink paper and then used this Catherine Pooler dots die and put that on there. And then I'm just going to put the happy birthday on here like that. All right, and there is the second card. The third card I did is quite simple, but I think also very striking. I used this moonflower set from Studio Light and just used the moon outlines. I think when I was buying it, I thought they were solid images, but they're outlines. They're still very cool, but I'd like to find some that are solid moon phases. And then I used this Altenew To the Moon set and just used the I Love You to the Moon and back. And just backed it a couple times on both gold and black. And that's that one. So I gold heat embossed the moons there. So 3 cards, all very, very different. So we've got the congratulations. This is going to a friend who's having a baby. And then this is going to one of my best friends whose birthday's on Tuesday. And then next week is another friend's birthday. So that is where this one is going. So very, very different, but I love all 3 of them. And I'm definitely going to be playing with the ink refills a lot more for doing some more backgrounds. The distress ink, I can't get over this one. I'm just like, I'm so in love with this one. I really, and this one as well, actually. I'm like just really, really into these. So I want to do a whole bunch more of those, maybe do a whole series. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Just some quick and simple cards, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye!